Wow, look at that screen.
Yay!
Yay. Um, I know everyone's time is precious, so let's see. I'm going to make sure Jenny's like, oh.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a fabulous turnout. We're so thrilled to have everybody here this morning. Just to give you a quick roadmap of where we're going today. Um, I'm going to share a little bit of overview information about Aurora and kind of our strategies and priorities and our research that we've been able to partner with folks on. And then we'll be thrilled to introduce Amanda Freeman, Associate Professor from University of Hartford, because we really want to use this opportunity to share some of the research that we've done, but also to kind of highlight key issues that we see pertaining to women's access to college success, particularly if they're women of color or they have limited economic means. So we really want to be able to share that information to hopefully produce programming that will help more of them obtain their college degree in Greater Hartford. That's really our goal. So again, thank you so much for being here this morning. Oh, and so then after Dr. Freeman, Marie will come on and she'll share the kind of nuts and bolts of the grant application process that she does such a fabulous job of stewarding, right? Anyone who's ever worked with Marie will certainly appreciate that. And thrilled to have our colleague, Sadeja Blake, our office manager, and now you saw her beautiful slideshow at the beginning. So thanks so much, Sadeja. All right, so really, so Aurora Women and Girls Foundation, we're based in and our catchment area is Greater Hartford. So that's Hartford County and the city of Hartford. And really, our big reason for being is women's funds really recognize the gap in charitable giving. So, you know, when we're talking about being more than half of the US population, for the big money of charitable giving, and that's from individuals, corporations, foundations, which I think in that $385 billion number is from 2019. Currently, the number has actually dropped. It was 1.9% when we made this slide. It's now 1.8% of charitable dollars are specifically directed to programs that serve women and girls. If we're talking about women and girls of color, that drops again to 0.5%. So really, what Aurora knows and what Women's Funds know and what all of you know is that women are a fabulous charitable investment, that when we put those resources to women and girls, they change themselves, their families, and their communities, and really the world, right? So that's sort of why Aurora exists, and kind of our overall goal is to move more of those resources in our specific neighborhood. Okay, so then I just briefly want to touch on two of our strategies for really spreading the word about the power of philanthropy that's directed with a gender lens, and invite you to join us. So coming up this spring, we'll be having another cycle of our Women's Giving Circle. This is an incredible opportunity where women come together and really experience what it means to kind of collaboratively put their resources together and impact their community. We have funded some amazing organizations, many of whom are on the Zoom right now. And it is a really just kind of a magical community that we've built of both the programs that we fund and the fabulous women that join us for the Giving Circle. And then we're gearing up again for our annual 100 Men campaign. This is where we invite male community leaders to stand up for women and girls and spread the word about the power of philanthropy that's directed to them. So we're looking forward to that, and I hope if you all have any men you want to send our way, we'd be happy to recruit them to join us. Thanks. All right. So in addition to what we're going to be talking about later, our larger grant making around women's college success and our Giving Circle, our two major grant opportunities, we also really believe that the more data that we can share about the status of women and girls in Greater Hartford, in Connecticut in general, right, the better that programming will be that addresses their needs, and that we really hope that nonprofits will be able to use this data to secure more funding, right? Use it for grant proposals, use it to share with their donors about the need in the community. So you can find our Women and Girls data platform that kind of puts all this publicly available data in one spot, right? And you can find it from our website or at womenandgirls.ctdata.org. And we partner with the Connecticut Data Collaborative on this effort and have been doing that since 2019. Next slide. And we've also produced some major research reports, again, in collaboration with Connecticut Data Collaborative and Women's Funds across the state and with nonprofits, government agencies. I am super proud of Essential Equity, which was our COVID-19 report. We were among the first in the nation to have real-time data on the impact of the pandemic, particularly on women of color. And as we'll see when we're talking about, I won't keep blabbing on about that. Then we followed that up with our work on the eviction crisis in Connecticut. We were really proud to partner with Connecticut Fair Housing Center and again, Connecticut Data Collaborative. The state was not collecting the gender or race of folks facing eviction. So this report actually went through case by case since 2017 to document what we all knew, right? That women of color were disproportionately affected by the evictions that were happening in Connecticut. And what we're seeing now, you're hearing a lot about housing, you're hearing a lot about the crisis of homelessness in Connecticut. And so with data like this, we're able to craft better solutions. One of which was the right to counsel legislation that now makes it so that every tenant also has access to legal representation for the first time. It hopefully will make sure that a lot of women and their kids remain housed. We just published in November Elusive Equity, a follow-up to our COVID-19 study to ask what are the continuing economic impacts of the pandemic, and we were thrilled to be featured on an episode of Disrupted. So you can also listen along with us about that to learn more. But really, we touched upon the ways in which the wage gaps continue to impact women, lack of access to childcare, the way in which women are overrepresented in low-paid service jobs, and really to be thinking about how we might make changes in some of those areas. Okay, and so for today, we'll put this up on our website. We've just been working with the Institute for Women's Policy Research because they have been doing some research, particularly around student parents. And so we partnered with them to really highlight what we see as a need in the space around college success, which is to support student mothers and particularly single mothers as they pursue higher ed. We're talking about 2.3 million student mothers nationwide. 1.3 million of those are single moms. 1 in 3 Black female college students are student mothers. 1 in 5 Hispanic and white college students are student moms. So really thinking about that as this population that needs particular support to be able to get to graduation. What we see, right, we've all been thinking about the burden of student debt, right, as, right, loan forgiveness keeps being a political football, but what we see, of course, is this kind of disproportionate impact on women, and particularly as we see here on student moms. When we think about 82% of Black student moms taking out loans, and in Connecticut, that can mean, right, the average is $36,000. So that can quickly become a burden. And then we were really interested in data about adult learners, right? So, when we're thinking about those student mothers, we're really thinking about oftentimes not traditional aged college students. So they might be returning in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, right? And what we see is that they have much lower persistence and retention rates for college. So we really do want to think about, okay, so what supports are needed for them? How can we help them be able to stay in school and reach graduation? Right, and so what we see in those graduation rates, right, are particular racial gaps, right? So particularly for two-year public institutions, so these are those community college programs, right? We're looking at a 6-year completion rate, right? So 6 years for a 2-year degree, and only 20% of Black students are completing, means that so many of them are left with the debt or with using up Pell Grants or other loans, and not having the degree and what we see as the economic or career benefit of that degree. So we really want to think about how we can address that. And then if we look kind of on the local level of what is the achievement gap that continue in higher ed for women in particular, right? We see that when we look at Hartford County and the city of Hartford, right, these disparities in academic achievement, right, with 6% of Black women in the city of Hartford with a bachelor's degree, only 12% of Hispanic women, only 12% of women of any race or ethnicity, right? And those numbers are simply too low, right, if we really want to build roots to economic mobility. And so I'm about to introduce our speaker, but I'll just finish up by saying we're sharing this information to try and build programs that will provide the kind of support that women need, right? Because higher education is really not designed for the populations that we're trying to reach, right? Women of color, low-income women, first-generation college students. And so we have been funding since 2016, right, these really innovative programs. And on the fact sheet that we'll share on our website also includes some of the best practices and some of the amazing programs that we've been lucky enough to partner with over those years. So
go through quickly. I think most of you saw on our meeting emails that I sent a lot of, sorry about that, but what our grant requirements are. And this year we have $85,000 to distribute. And as Amanda spoke, we say this all the time, we wish we had so much more. And when we see a room full of all of you that are doing this amazing work, we want to bring on people like Amanda to share the research and other ways to get funding. And, that's what Aurora is. And that's what I do, is connect with me and try to connect you with other resources outside of just Aurora, because we wish we had all the money in the world. But that is why we want to share all of this data with you, so that you're able to find other forms of funding outside of 85,000. With that money, 4 to 5 grant awards will be given. As we've said, we are looking for programs that are designed to increase college success for female students, and they must serve women within the Greater Hartford area. And having a thoughtful approach to addressing the impact of gender and race on their college success. As Jenny spoke about, we have best practices put together for some of the programs that we've been working with. They are angels on earth for sure. A lot of them are on our call right now, and we see exactly what Amanda's talking about. Like the graduation rates skyrocket when they're just given help to find the financial aid resources, or to find a scholarship, or to just have somebody listen, to take a breath and be able to say, you know, you need to take time for self-care, and someone just to listen. So we see that time and time again. And thank you all for, I know everybody does work similar to that. So to be eligible, you must be a 501c3 or a governmental, educational, or research institution with a tax-exempt status. As I said, it must be based in Greater Hartford, and with your focus to increase the college completion rate. That's what our data is for, to show what happens when when you're able to complete, and as Amanda said too, within a doable time frame, and without costing you, you know, far more money than is necessary. So key dates: February 9th, we ask for a letter of intent to be sent to the grants email. All of these emails I will, and all the links that Amanda gave and ours, I will send in a follow-up email with direct links. So a letter of intent by February 9th. Finalists will be notified by February 23rd if they are invited to submit a full grant application, which will be sent to them in that notification. March 22nd, the full grant applications are due by 5 o'clock to the same grants email. After that, we will have our grants committee do virtual site visits. We don't need to come physically out to your space, but we do ask for a student of a program or some other representative to be available, and those are April 1st through 5th, and then April 15th through 19th. And then we expect our grant award notifications to go out in late May. I also want to let you know that our upcoming events, so we are hosting our annual meeting in person at the law offices of Robinson and Cole, thanks to one of our board members and grants committee members, Stephanie Roman. They're beautiful offices in downtown Hartford, and it's a chance to gather, and everyone is invited to come and meet our supporters, our board members, our sponsors, and celebrate all the work that we've been doing this year. And then we also have this, what's called a coffee and convening. We'll be hosting one on April 26th at 10 o'clock. And these started from this meeting from 2022, because we had so many people. We realized so many of us are doing similar work and are so busy, thinking that we're all competing for the same dollars, but we really need to be convening and leveraging our relationships and who we know. And so we had put together these coffee and convenings back each year in the springtime. We meet over Zoom, introduce ourselves, talk about what we do and what our struggles may be. And through those, partnerships have formed for either transportation, or, one program has the capability for meeting space that another program could utilize. And it's really brought our programs together, and then also outside of Aurora funded programs, these partnerships that form, and we all know we're better together. So those are just really informal, getting on Zoom with a cup of coffee and introducing yourselves to the other people in the room that are doing similar work. So that's April 26th. And then in May, our Giving Circle will be kicking off. Information will be going out about that in the coming weeks. The way it works is a steering committee chooses a topic or typically what our data is leaning towards, where a focus need is needed. And we select organizations within Greater Hartford that are doing amazing work. And then a pool of supporters get together and donate their money. And then they decide how to divide that up. And there's no limit to, we have donations from $25 to $2,500. And it has been a really wonderful way for people to learn about philanthropy, to be able to direct their funds to really special organizations that I know are on here as well. And then our 100 Men campaign, as Jenny mentioned earlier, will be kicking off in the fall as well. So I will bring it back to Jenny for questions and answers. But if you haven't already, please connect with us on social media. Sadeja does an amazing job keeping us looking like we know how to use social media. She is our fabulous creator of all the content. So we really hope that you'll do that. And I'll turn it over to Jenny. I know a lot of you need to do a stop at answered. Great. Look at that, 10:57. We are try to be very respectful of everyone's time. Just thank you all so much for coming, and I'll be sending out the recording and all the links after the meeting. Thanks so much.
Thank you to our grants committee members who tuned in today, and our board members, and all our fabulous community partners. Thank you all so much.